if whatever it is doesn't work out, get up. I lost 2 elections. I was the youngest former governor in American history after the Reagan landslide. I had one guy appointed to the cabinet walk across Main Street in Little Rock to avoid being seen shaking hands with me for fear that the guy that beat me would fire him. That was a humbling experience. And I think you got to realize there's no personal ambition you have which can be extinguished by anybody else. Only you, by giving up your dreams, can extinguish them. And if it doesn't work out exactly like you intended, it'll still take you someplace interesting and you'll make a difference. So my advice is what George said, don't be afraid to fail, but you probably will, whether you're afraid to or not. And it's scary. You just got to get up. The world belongs to tomorrow, not yesterday. Don't give anybody else permission to take your life away. Just keep living and keep giving. And never make the perfect the enemy of the good. Never think that what I'm doing is too little to make a difference. That's not true. That's not true. Do something every day. Someday, for all of us, it'll be our last day. And what will matter were all the steps we took along the way and what they amounted to, not the home run we hit on day X.
What has been the best advice you received from your teacher or professor?
Ooh, I've gotten a lot of great advice from teachers, mentors, professors throughout the years. So first of all, you got to be open to taking some risks and not being afraid to fail. Failure is the key to success. So when you get to college, you got to raise your hand. You have to be engaged. Don't be the kid thinking, oh, I shouldn't be here, and maybe I'm not smart enough, and maybe, no. You are more than capable of going to college, being successful, and going on and doing whatever you want in life. I sit here because I am you all. There is no difference between me and you. Working class kid, growing up on the south side of Chicago, growing up with doubts and fears just like all of you all do. I know exactly how you all are feeling, and kids out there who are thinking, maybe I'm not ready, maybe I'm not good enough, maybe I can't afford it. But what teachers and mentors have told me is that yes, you can and you must. So get in there and be bold with your intelligence. Raise your hand, get support when you need it, and know that we all got here because somebody helped us.
Because the resources had been so limited for so long, there were a lot of people who would say, God, if I only had access to a camera, I would make a movie. There's a lot of talk about it. I remember when I was in college, I would spend most of my time in my room writing screenplays, really bad screenplays, but I was in my room doing that when I probably should have been studying or something. There were a lot of people I remember at parties who would talk about writing and that they wanted to be a writer, but I would always notice that they were out. Every time I would happen to go out, they would always be out, and I just know that there are people who talk about what they would do if, but they're not actually doing the thing. And so it's a lot easier to actually write a screenplay than you think it is. It might not be good, but most people talk about writing screenplays but don't actually write them. The people who write them, you're already like in the top 10%.
See, every time you make a decision, what we're talking about here is clarifying your values. Every single time you make a decision, you are basing it on unspoken values. You have a grid in your mind. You've never even thought about this, most likely, but you have a set of values in your mind, and every time you make a decision, I'm going to do this and not do that. I'm going to buy this and not buy that. I'm going to spend my time and effort and energy on this and not on that. You are showing your hidden values. The problem is most people have never figured out what they are, where they came from, and whether they're valid or not. So really the secret of success is clarifying your values. This is a skill you need to learn. What is valuable to me and what is not valuable? Every time you make a decision, you reveal your values. My question is, do you know where your values came from? How are they working out? Is your life working out with those values? Do you know where you picked them up? Are they working for you? Your values in life determine your stress, determine your success, and determine your salvation. Now, you may not realize this, but your values could be causing stress in your life.
it's funny. Sometimes I talk to my wife about this, but like hard work is like super important in life. And like now, like I grew up like in Berkeley, I didn't have any money. I played for the football for the Yellow Jackets. I was just like a kid in the neighborhood. And now like I have a lot of money. And so like with my kids, I'm like, okay, now that I'm rich, how do I teach you the value of hard work? Because that's really the only important lesson that I've got. But like for all of you, I think most of you out of public university probably know a little of the value of hard work. Keep that lesson. That's the important, that work is what's important. It's that effort where you learn the secrets that are super valuable and can change people's lives and change the world.